This on.
I am
All right,
recording.
I am recording.
Ba, ba, ba.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 697th episode of the Pokemon Podcast. It's super effective. I'm your host, Steve. With me is Bobby.
Hello. I finally hit credits in Legends Z-A. Took me a little while, but I got there.
Were the credits as sloppy as you expected them to be? Triple A slop credits?
Yes, very much so.
Did you enjoy that Ed Sheeran remix at the end of the credits?
I thought it was pretty good.
I remember the credit song actually being good, but it wasn't like
It wasn't Ed Sheeran.
No,
you know?
I mean, thing is, I was waiting for the post credits situation, so I was just hyped and ready for that. I don't know why I was hyped for it, but
I can't wait for this post-credit scene.
we're not talking about post credits today. Austin is also here though.
Hello, I decided to use my silver bottle cap on a male shiny Salandit, and I'm not mad about it.
in Pokemon Go?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, got it.
I have no transition for that. Hey, I'm back from Japan. I was in Japan for 2 weeks. I streamed the global wild area, and then I streamed the Nagasaki wild area, and then I just streamed random Japan stuff. And while in Japan, the Pokemon Company was like, let's keep releasing as much news as possible. Which makes it now that there's so much news we can't fit it all in this episode, which is not the worst problem to have as a podcast that needs news to keep talking about every week. But I don't like. I think we needed to talk about all the Mega Evolutions eventually, so we had to do that regardless, and we did that, and that's fine. And then I just did want an episode where we're just talking about all the game, the game as a whole, and we did that. So the timing was like unfortunate, but the episodes that we did pre-record early, I feel like needed to be done regardless.
Right.
Yeah, makes sense.
But today's episode, because there's so much news, I know there's a bunch of Unite stuff, and people are oddly excited about the Unite stuff. That's really cool. There's TCG stuff. There's donuts. We could maybe talk about the donuts. Real life donuts. There's other donuts in the DLC. So today's episode is going to be the Mega Dimension trailer. There's been two. Maybe the second one I wouldn't really call a trailer. It was like 20 seconds long, and it was one Pokemon. So we're going to talk about the Mega Dimension stuff, and then we're going to talk about the weird 10-minute Pokopia trailer, which they then released a later 4-minute version, which I also felt like was like kind of too long. I don't think anyone should watch the 10-minute trailer. I don't think that trailer's good.
I liked it.
It's
but
fine.
I like the game though. I'm intrigued. I could sit there and watch. I'm waiting for when people put out like the 10-hour long Pokopia relaxation videos. That's what I'm waiting for.
I just think like the 4-minute trailer says the same thing as the 10-minute.
Well, sure.
Yeah, of course.
Just 6 more minutes of weird tank growth talking.
I mean, the press release said enough. They didn't have to release any videos, but they
It
did.
could have been an email, right?
Yeah. So that's pretty much our episode. I know there's a lot of Pokemon news, but I want to get through the Mega Dimension stuff. So let's start there. This was on on November 6th. I left for Japan on November 4th. Thank you, Pokemon Company. The Pokemon Legends Z-A Mega Dimension DLC will be released on Wednesday, December 10th on Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo systems. In Pokemon Legends Z-A Mega Dimension, trainers will revisit Lumiose as a spatial distortion begins to form around the city. Donut Chef, I don't know how to say her name. Ansha?
Ansha?
Ansha.
That's what I'm going with.
and her companion, the mythical Pokemon Hoopa, will guide players as they explore the mysterious dimension known as hyperspace Lumiose. This is not quite Lumiose City. This not quite Lumiose City is home to newly discovered Mega Evolution Pokemon and other Pokemon usually not found in Lumiose, some of which exceed the normal limit of level 100 with hyperspace levels. Hoopa's powers are awakened when it receives one donut, transforming the distortions into portals into hyperspace. Ansha uses berries to create various kinds of donuts that grant different effects in hyperspace, such as powering up your Pokemon. She can also use more potent hyperspace berries, which are useful for taking on high-level Pokemon in hyperspace Lumiose. Trainers will be joined by new allies, such as Karina, a successor into the line of Mega Evolution Gurus determined to encounter every Mega Evolved Pokemon. Together with Team MZ, players will explore hyperspace Lumiose, uncover its secrets, and tackle the strange events befalling Lumiose City. And then they showed a couple new Mega Pokemon, but before we get to those, where do we start?
Where do we start?
Donuts.
Listen, I love me a good donut.
Have we met Ansha? Can you?
No, she's like brand new.
Okay. I was gonna say I don't remember meeting a donut chef.
Yeah, no, she's brand new. Unless you subscribe to the theory that she's just a younger version of Diantha.
Are we doing that again? Like that's the Legends. That's the Legends.
Are we doing that again? I'm saying maybe you subscribe to it. I don't think I subscribe to it, but
obviously it's the daughter. Come on. No, I don't know. She does kind of look like the girl from the Hoopa movie. If we're like doing the conspiracy thing, I know it's not because I got a different name, but it does look like her.
Maybe she change her name.
Maybe it's her daughter.
Yeah, I mean, like there is the. I think there are some characters that look like other characters and are maybe related to other characters. I mean, I think Legends Arceus, there's a lot of that, obviously, with like Volo and Cynthia and stuff. Since this game is like 5 years after the events of X and Y. Like, I do think Ivor has like the same color scheme as Karina and the same hair as Karina, and like there are features there, but like there's nothing that indicates that they're related at all. Now there are things like in Scarlet and Violet where they say that what's her name, Lacey, is Clay's daughter.
Yeah,
and then the internet went crazy with like who is the mother, but there's nothing that signifies who the mother is.
Yeah.
So like I guess I could see the like maybe somehow related to Diantha in some weird ways, but also like nothing in the trailer signifies that.
You know what I dislike the most about the whole like let's relate one character to another character is that the internet takes it to like another level where they want it to be more than them just showing that relationships are a thing. Like they want it to be like, oh, well, if Lacey is Clay's daughter, like we're gonna see Clay in the thing, or like, you know, like we're gonna like this person's gonna come back, or it's gonna somehow connect. There's gonna be more story there, and most times they're just a reference.
They've like never done that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's fine. It's fine. I just always hate like the internet like talk that happens afterwards where people are expecting way more than what they're gonna get.
But I think maybe this is just me yapping, but Pokemon I think plays into that a little bit because they know people will talk about it.
I know.
And now so many people are talking about this girl.
We're doing it right now.
We're doing it right. Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's a girl that likes donuts and Hoopa. So,
me too. I'm a girl that loves donuts and Hoopa.
You're not, honestly.
Say less. Yeah, I mean, there's like a joke in The Simpsons about that, where like fans put way more thought and effort into like references than probably like the writers of The Simpsons do. They're just like, yeah, this is a fun reference, but we didn't like think anything past just like
Yeah.
referencing it.
Yeah.
Well, if you're missing a Hoopa, I'm fairly confident you're probably going to get a Hoopa at the end of this DLC. So if Hoopa's worth $30 to you, back in my day though, we used to be able to drive down to the local McDonald's and sit in the McDonald's parking lot and get ourselves a free Hoopa. You think I'm joking? That's a real thing that happened.
What's its OT? Isn't it like McD or something?
Yeah, it's McD.
That's so good.
It's a real partnership that happened. That's peak capitalism right there. Now you skip the McDonald's part and you just spend $30. We see some Pokemon returning. We like see Corviknight, we see Golisopod, we see Alolan Marowak, we see the middle evolution of Garganackle. I can't remember that.
Knucklestack.
Knucklestack. That's a bad name. That's a really bad name. We see fossil Pokemon in the wild, which is kind of cool. I think there's like a scene where like 4 Aerodactyl are attacking a Pokemon. So that, I guess maybe that saves some people from doing fossil resets. Although I would maybe argue the majority of post game is resetting your game over and over to do various things. So maybe that's one less thing you can do. I guess Hoopa can take us pretty much anywhere with its rings. That's kind of the gimmick, is it can bring things in and out, and it can take us places. It's just taking us to a black and white remix confirmed. It's just taking us to a non-colorful version of Lumiose City.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that okay, so one thing I'm a little bit annoyed with is I don't feel like they completely like answered all my questions at the end of ZA, and I feel like this isn't going to answer anymore. It feels like we're going off into a completely different path that has nothing to do with, obviously has nothing to do with the main story of ZA, but it just feels like there were some questions that I thought, oh, maybe the DLC will answer those questions. Doesn't feel like that's going to happen with the way that they're setting up this DLC.
Not at all. Yeah, you're not getting any answers.
Is Steve wondering what questions I have?
Yeah. What's a question? What are you still pondering at the end of your $60 experience or $70 experience, depending on which version you bought?
Who's Tawny / Urbane looking for?
Oh, I think you get some clarification when you do your 15 battle royales.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. Well, then one last question that I have.
Maybe they're just looking for donuts. And here is your answer. I think, okay, part of me is like, we know how big the area is going to be. So that question is kind of answered.
Sure.
But then there's also there's like smaller questions inside that of like, okay, well, if we're going to a different dimension of Lumiose City, we already know how big that is. Does that mean we also get access to the sewers? Does that mean like what happens to the cemetery? How does that scene play out in hyperspace? Like, so like, but we know when Isle of Armor came out, or the Teal Mask, or Indigo Disc, or Crown Tundra, it was like, how big is this? You didn't know until you got there. And for this, we pretty much know how big it is.
Yeah, but to be fair, then this is completely different. I know this when I say this, so it's completely different. But when Tears of the Kingdom came out, we thought we knew how big it was because Breath of the Wild, it was the same map as Breath of the Wild, until there were things that made it bigger. right? And I'm not saying there's a full underground or like a sky area.
I think that's what you're saying. You heard it here first. There's going to be a whole sky dimension up there. That's where Mega Rayquaza lives. And then there's going to be a whole underground dimension.
I already went through this with the sewers. It's not happening.
They're finally going to expand the sewers. Heatran will be down there running around like the little roach he is.
Ew.
I'm just saying.
No, that is a good point. There could be more verticality. I can't even say that without laughing. There could be.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Bigger scaffolding. Who knows? I'm just saying. Like,
I would love to see a little bit more. Don't get me wrong, but my hopes aren't there. If anything, it actually is probably going to be smaller, I would think.
I actually was thinking the same. Like, I was almost thinking there'll be parts of Lumiose that we're not even able to go to.
Well, there are parts like there's like an Aegislash fighting. I don't know what it's fighting, but it's fighting something in like the shopping hallway.
That's not where you fight. That's where you shop.
I know. Well, I mean, I guess maybe that plays into your point of it being smaller. If all of the stores are just on, not that you can go into a lot of stores, but that's a good question. Like, can you go into the Rust Syndicate? Can you go into the Quasartico? Like, if you cannot go into these and you cannot access the menu of the stores, then ultimately it is smaller.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
I feel like the DLC is even more so battle focused than the main game. I doubt there's going to be much to do aside from just battling and collecting like the big Pokeball things, and I think that's mostly it.
Yeah.
Making a donut.
Especially because they mentioned how there'll be Pokemon who are greater than level 100. It just feels like they're gearing you up for more battles and more challenging battles at that.
I think this DLC is secretly here to sell more copies of Cafe Remix with the donuts and everything.
It's subliminal marketing.
Yeah, that's the marketing.
I'm not doing it.
If it was vertical, I'd be interested in Cafe Remix, but I'm not turning my phone sideways. I think the trailer was cool in the sense of seeing things over level 100, and I know that's temporary, but I think that has been a problem with Pokemon DLC, right? This game is like weirdly paced, where I feel like when you get to the end of the game, you're like pushing level 70.
Mm-hmm.
And that was for like me, and like I don't think I grinded out or I did anything extra, or like I felt like I played the game pretty normally. I even switched a lot of my team members, and I still felt like I was pushing 70. And there's like a post-game battle where I think the what you fight is closer to 80. And then, like, you know, with the Teal Mask or Isle of Armor, Crown Tundra, it's like, well, I've had this game for so long, and so many of my Pokemon are maybe level 100, or they're just at level 60 because that's where I stopped. And now you're in this like weird, like, how should I tackle this DLC? Should I just plow through it with my level 100s? Should I catch a new team? Should I limit myself to only be level 80? So it seems like it only took them a handful of games to go, okay, we have a system for that.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to make these Pokemon stronger, but it's like temporary and it's for the DLC, but it seems to make sense. Like a level 100 will still be your cap, but for the purpose of post-game stuff, this seems better than just like setting everyone at 80 and it doesn't matter because your Pokemon are going to be 100, or maybe they're 100, or maybe they're 90 or whatnot, and you could just plow through it anyway. So this seems exciting.
Yeah. It's funny that they didn't think of something like this for Scarlet and Violet, since they gave us 7-star raids. And so if you were going through and doing those, you were getting really strong, powerful Pokemon. And then a year later, when the DLCs came out, it's like on top of Pokemon that you've already maybe trained, you also have these like perfectly like, you know, leveled Pokemon that are way over leveled for those DLCs.
Yeah.
I think one thing that's good too is that the DLC is coming out so quickly. And so there's going to be a lot of people who get the game for the first time at the holidays. And they won't, I mean, they'll play through it and then be able to go straight into DLC if they want to, if they do pay the extra 30, or if they get it gifted, then it's not like you're waiting around for a year and your Pokemon are all super high level, like all level 100 or anything like that. And they could be, you could still go through and do that before you hit the DLC. But I feel like timing wise, there's a lot of people I think who haven't started playing ZA, and now they'll jump into it and be able to go straight into the DLC as well.
Is the ZL? Are you saying? I'm pretty sure you have to beat the game to access the DLC.
I think you do too, but I'm just saying that like
you're just saying
you won't be
once they beat
around,
the game, they don't have to wait. They can just
you won't be sitting around like
building,
leveling up your Pokemon even more because you're just playing, waiting for the DLC. A lot of people will play it first time now, and they'll just be able to go through the whole thing if they buy the DLC.
Yeah, I say this all the time. Maybe there are new people listening to the show, but I think Pokemon is very good at showing you exactly what you're getting in the trailers. And they have shown making donuts, collecting berries, and battling.
It feels like a very like repetitive thing we're gonna be doing, and maybe not in a bad way if you're into that, but I saw people comparing it to roguelike stuff. I don't fully agree with the comparison, but it does seem like something that you're able to just like do constantly. You get items, get rewards to just like keep building other Pokemon for online and stuff. So that's kind of fun. But I'm sure the story isn't gonna be very in depth. I wouldn't expect, based on I guess what we know.
Well, they're pressing this at. Is this like the most expensive Pokemon DLC or the cheapest?
For a single one, yeah, I think.
Yeah,
so.
because what was Sword and Shield was $30 for 2.
Yep.
And Scarlet and Violet was $35 for 2. And this is $30 for 1. And to be honest, I think this is it. I don't think there's a second DLC.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Agreed. No, I think this is it. I think they would have mentioned that at the top if there was going to be more than one DLC.
I mean, we are also talking about Pokemon fans where they released something called the Epilogue. And fans were like, well, there has to be more after this. I'm not sure if you know what an epilogue means. Pull out the old dictionary, the old Webster. It means we're done. There's nothing after that.
That's the end.
I still think the pacing of this is ZA comes out. The DLC is in 2 weeks. We're then about 2 months away from Pokemon Day. Pokemon Day, they announce Gen 10 or whatever else they have for the year, because the next year is the 30th anniversary, and they're pretty much done with ZA. And the reason I say that is because they very quickly moved on from Legends Arceus. They were like, here's Legends Arceus, we're done. They also moved on really quickly from Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. They could have given us so much extra things in Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. Like there was one mystery gift download for those like statues that you could put in your secret base. There was one. They could have kept giving us not the spoiler, statues didn't really do anything. They were kind of a waste of time, but they could have given us more. There was so much. They could have just upgraded the watch to have 2 buttons instead of 1 button like in Platinum. But I really do think, again, this is the same company who Phantasmal Flames just came out literally 2 days ago. And I've already gotten like 2 emails from the Pokemon company being like, no one cares about Phantasmal Flames anymore. Here's the next TCG set. Like,
absolutely. Absolutely.
I haven't even touched a booster pack of Phantasmal Flames. And you're already telling me the next one's coming out. So I think new game aside, if there is a Gen 10 next year, it's going to be it's the 10th version, the 10th generation of this series. and they're probably going to want to put a lot of marketing power behind it leading into next fall, assuming that's when it's coming out.
Mm.
So I think they're done with this game. Like, I'm sure they'll keep drip feeding new Mega Pokemon through the online battle stuff, and we now have a way to get Mega Diancie, and there's a couple legendaries that are missing. Maybe this Pokemon that no one cares about called Mewtwo. And I'm sure Mewtwo would be maybe a good Pokemon Day surprise of like, here's battle Mewtwo, catch Mewtwo, now you have Mega Mewtwo. But the reason it feels like they hold on to that a little bit longer is, one, it's Mewtwo, and two, they probably don't want you running through this DLC with a Mega Mewtwo.
Sure.
Yeah.
I do think it would
True.
be a crime if they do nothing with Volcanion again. I think that'd be it'd be funny, but I do hope, I don't think there will be. Although I guess the little hoop kind of looks like a donut. I don't know. But yeah,
Really stretching it there.
I don't know. I just think we should see more of Volcanion somewhere here, but
That's not
But
something
I'm not.
many people say.
They're giving Zeraora more than 30 seconds of screen time for the first time.
right.
Well deserved, Zeraora.
Well, speaking of Zeraora, let's take a break, and then when we come back, we have 3 new Megas. They showed 2 Megas in this trailer, and then a separate trailer for Mega Zeraora. So we will be right back. And we are back from our break. Let's start backwards. Zeraora, Bobby, tell me about this. You might be the only person excited.
What are you talking about? Zeraora is amazing. Okay, so one of my favorite, we've talked about this before, but one of my favorite Mega Pokemon is Mega Lucario. And so it's like the cat version of Mega Lucario, right? It's not very, it's like subtle. Like, it's not a huge difference, I feel like. I mean, color changes completely, or not completely, but it's very different colored. But overall, I just think Mega Zeraora looks really cool. I am mad that they didn't give it a proper trailer along with the gameplay trailer, since they were just showing off the one. And I feel like whenever they've showed off just one Pokemon, they've given it like a proper trailer. I guess not Mega Dragonite, but we're not going to count Mega Dragonite. And so I feel like they should have given it a proper trailer, because I felt like it was a little underwhelming in the gameplay trailer.
Yeah, I think that's part of an issue I have with the Zeraora. Maybe I will like it more when I see it in game and everything like that, but the trailer wasn't very exciting. You know, they spoiled it in the title and the thumbnail, which is whatever. But it was like 15 seconds of, here's Zeraora. All right, thanks for watching. You know, so there wasn't really much to talk about or look at. I don't know. I guess they could have like hyped it up more. That'd have been nice, because the Halucha one was fun. Victory Bell was really cool, and this one was, yeah, like you said, it was just, here it is.
They did say it would be harder to get Zeraora. Like, in the press release for it as well, they talk about that there's going to be a challenging way. I don't know if it's to get the Mega Stone or to get Zeraora, to catch Zeraora. Sure. But I do wonder if that's going to be like win some amount of battles, or if there's going to be some other side quest that just takes like an extended amount of time. You don't think they're just going to
throw it in the online battles like they did with the starters, Excalibur, spoilers?
Like get to rank A or something? I mean, they made a point to say that it was going to be a more challenging situation. So that makes me feel like there's going to be something a little extra.
I'm sure it's just like a story beat. I wouldn't be surprised if like Zeraora was like one of like the final 2 things you battle going through. I mean, maybe. Like, harder to get, you could argue that like Mega Phalanx was harder to get because, one, you couldn't even catch a Phalanx until like zone 19, and 2, I'm pretty sure the Mega Stone didn't even appear until post credits or like right before credits, and at that point it's like
You could say that, but I think because they made a point to say that it's like harder to get, that it makes me feel like there's going to be something more to it. It also mentions that like it controls its own electricity, and so the trainer must be in sync with it in order to know how to use it correctly, to use it at the right time, which I thought was weird. Like, are they just building up a story, but really you just like there's no different than any other Pokemon?
Does that imply it doesn't need a Mega Stone?
That's a good guess.
Maybe.
I mean, like it's not like that's unheard of. Mr. Mega Rayquaza does not need a Mega Stone.
Mm-hmm.
Here, this is the only Pokedex entry that matters, which is Mega Starmie. Its movement has become more human-like, whether it's simply trying to communicate or wants to supplement humanity is unclear.
So good. Just cements its S tier choice that we had for it.
Mega Starmie is so good. It's insane that people do not like this Mega. It literally is trying to become more human. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not like the biggest Zeraora fan, so
It's just
Sorry, Bobby. This one's all you.
Also, that movie did Zeraora so dirty.
it did.
That was such a good. Wait, hold on.
That's not
movie was
Zeraora's
good.
fault.
That movie was dog water.
That's the director. That's the director of that movie's fault.
I enjoyed that movie.
That movie's so bad.
All right.
Okay, hold on. So just going back to how awesome Zeraora is. On the website it says getting in sync. Mega Zeraora decides of its own when it will release energy and unleash its full power. Trainers wanting to partner up with Mega Zeraora will either need to trust its decision or be so in sync with it that they can match its timing. So it just feels like there's something different about how you use Zeraora than other
Here's what's
Pokemon.
going to happen. You're going to have to do like 3 more of those Froakie puzzles. And then it's like, you did it. You were in sync. You got to Froakie before the 45 seconds. Here's your Zeraora Megastone.
It almost sounds like it just randomly will Mega Evolve, like at random points, and you got to figure out how to benefit from that. But I guess that doesn't really sound like a downside.
No. It also, additionally, it says there's a tagline, no more limits. Zeraora has an incredibly high aptitude to begin with, but typically it has an internal limiter that works to contain the electric energy stored within its body. It's thought that Mega Evolution removes this limiter.
You have put more thought into Mega Zeraora than the majority of the internet combined.
Good. Someone needs to back up this amazing, beautiful Pokemon.
Can we talk about the actual good Mega? Mega Chimecho.
There we go.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's fine.
It's not
That's
no
so
Mega
good.
Zeraora,
It might
but
be
it's
the
fine.
best Mega Evolution. Remake the tier list, put it up top.
It just
This
looks
is
like
why.
Klefki.
This is why Austin's on the show.
It just looks like Klefki.
Yeah, and
is
Klefki's awesome too.
It is the best Mega Evolution I think they've ever made.
No. What are you
No, I
talking
think it might be.
It's so good.
Okay,
It's
Mega Starmie
so-
still exists, everyone. Calm down.
Well, yeah, but it could be like second place S tier. We don't, you know.
It's so good.
I
Mega
think
Excalibur is like cool too, but like
one of my favorite tropes about like Pokemon design. I don't care about Excalibur. We're talking about Chimecho right now. But I love the weird little floaty guys, and Chimecho does that. Mega Chimecho is even cooler than that. So I think that's part of the reason why I like it a lot.
I like that it's like silhouette is like a chime
Chingling.
Chingling, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that is cool.
It's tight. It's you know, if we were redoing a tier list, Mega Starmie still S tier, but I'd put Mega Chimecho above it.
What?
I think it's great.
I can't
think
deal
it's so
with this.
good.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. I'm sure it's still going to be like bad, but
Who
still
cares?
good. Maybe like competitively they give it like prankster or something so you can like screen with it. I think Excalibur having like a sword going through its body, I think that's like conceptually, I think that's like really neat.
Mhm.
I just wasn't a big fan of Excalibur to begin with, I think. So this one, it's fine.
What they really should have done is give the Mega to Artabax, because I think Artabax is way cooler than Excalibur. Artabax is like also a crazy. I never know how to explain this to people, but like Artabax is like the most Pokemon they designed in Gen 9.
Okay.
Like, you know how sometimes a Pokemon shows up and people are like, oh, that looks like a Digimon. And like most
Sure.
of the time they're just like kind of wrong. And like they haven't like but like I kind of see what they're saying. It's like, well, you know, if they put more pants on it or they put like more leather, or like if it had like 30 guns coming out of it, I can get your point. Or like if it was just straight up a human, then like maybe I could get behind. But like Artabax looks like it was like a lost Gen 1 Pokemon. It is so Pokemon-y. That's not to say Excalibur is bad, but Artabax is just like, he's a neat little guy.
I feel like Arctibax I don't know if it's maybe because of the way it stands, it reminds me a lot of Charmeleon. Something about
I'm looking at him right now, and that right there is a Pokemon. From start to finish, from legs to eyes, that's a Pokemon right there.
It's a good looking Pokemon. I'm looking at it too now, and it's a good looking Pokemon. It's got good color too. Great shiny, by the way.
I love we just transitioned Mega Excalibur to just talking about.
Just about 20 minutes of talking about Artabax. Yeah, I guess, I mean, that leads into like the online stuff, right? So like we don't know how many Megas there's going to be, but I'm sure they're going to continue. I have a theory about this. One is like, I don't think there's any seriousness to the like online competitive stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten a handful of questions over the last month of like, Steve, do you think that this is going to be at Worlds? No. The competitive is kind of a joke. And like I know it's like ranked battles, but
there might be like a side event you could sign up for.
Yeah, there might be a side event, or there might be like a
even think that. I think this is really just them doing something that's like, here's some online stuff for fun. Like,
yes.
That's all I think it is.
But I do think there's two things that come out of that. One is they can gather data to see like what moves are being used, like how people are doing it. Are people spamming things? Are people like, what held items are people using? So there is important data that they can get out of that if they want to like further move in that direction.
Sure.
Which I think like for 4v1 raids, I think there is benefit to that, right? Like I think I think battling Mega Starmie with 3 other real people would be like, that's where I think the action-based combat shines.
Yeah.
In that sense. But 2, they can like gate certain Pokemon behind it, not necessarily for future like ranked battles in the game, although you could say that. But when Pokemon Champions comes out, if they hold a couple Megas behind this, then they can do what they're doing right now in Champions, which is like, you know, when it started, you couldn't use Mega Delphox and you couldn't use Mega Chestnut, and now 2 months later, you can use Mega Delphox and Mega Chestnut, but they can apply that same logic to Champions, where they're like, hey, Mega Excalibur isn't out for another month. That technically that's true as of this recording, but pretend Champions is out today. They could be like, well, you can use all the Megas right now, but in a month you'll be able to use Mega Excalibur and Champions, and that we can see how that adjusts the meta. So that's how they can like kind of drip feed behind it. But I don't think I've done a lot of the online ranked battles. Like I got to rank A in both seasons. And I'm not exaggerating. I've lost like twice in my like 4 hours of playing ranked, like coming in like dead last.
Right.
And like people are bad at Pokemon. I think that's just what it really comes down to. Like it's and I don't want to throw any listeners under the bus. I'm not saying you guys are bad at Pokemon because you're listening to this podcast. So I know you guys are amazing.
Uh-huh.
But it always rubs me the wrong way where you're just like you're seeing like internet comments or you're talking to people and they're just like, Pokemon's just a kid's game. It's just for babies. And then you play these same people that say that and they're just dog water at this game. It's like the same with like 7-star raids, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like people are just going in with Annihilapes or they're just going in with like Iron Hands and they just want to brute force it. And it's like, buddy, if it's just a kid's game, just spend the 5 minutes and build a better Pokemon and just do it. But like you don't want to think, you don't want to do the effort. You're just like, I'm just going to hit Rage Fist over and over because like it's like, I don't know. There's like this back and forth that there is like so many complexities to Pokemon, but then there's also like people will just say like, well, I can just go through the game like pressing one button, and there is like some truth to that. But like I think small side note, I remember watching a TikTok of somebody trying to like recommend a 7-star raid build. And they were just like, well, you're gonna wanna like Swords Dance 3 times, and then you're going to want to use Earthquake, and you really want Arboliva here because Arboliva will give you health back throughout the entire thing. And I'm just thinking, but grassy terrain reduces the damage of Earthquake. So like, yeah, you're getting health back, but like that interaction doesn't work the way you think it does.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I mean, eventually it works, minus the fact that you're doing significantly less damage because Earthquake reduces its damage in grassy terrain, and like eventually you'll get there. But like that's just like an example of like how complex. I don't even think that's a complex interaction, but there's so many interactions.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's 1,000 Pokemon, there's like 800 abilities, there's 800 different moves, and they all are not super straightforward. Where was I going with this? Like, learn the type chart. And this is why I go back to like maybe people are just bad at Pokemon. Just like learn the type chart, and like it makes everything so much easier.
As somebody who has barely dipped my toes into competitive in other Pokemon games, this ZA was very easy to pick up, and I only learned what Poison was weak to like a week ago. So listen, we can do it. Everybody that's bad at Pokemon, lock in. We got this.
Yeah.
I totally get that. Like, there are people that are like, yeah, I don't like battling. I don't like action based. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm strictly talking about the people that are like, Pokemon's this easy kids game, and then they go online and they're out here just spamming Geomancy because that's what the YouTube video told them to do.
Well, I'm gonna make sure that if I lose, I don't talk about it with you guys.
Don't share that.
I also think there's similar comparisons to like 7-star raids and this online battle mode. And when I say that, I think the comparison is like I need to go as fast as possible. And I don't think that's needed.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in 7-star raids, you see people like they feel like they need to attack as fast as possible because like there's a 10-minute timer. I need to keep attacking, but every time you attack, the boss attacks, right?
Right.
And there's so many situations where it's just like if you just wait 3 to 4 seconds for your teammate to acid spray or for your teammate to light screen, that changes your turn dramatically. Like either you're doing more damage or you're taking less damage, or like maybe you should wait for a heal cheer. But we're 3 years into Scarlet and Violet, and there are still some people that are like, I just need to attack as fast as possible because there's a time limit, and you just don't need to. And I do think that same logic applies to the ranked battles of ZA. I don't need to attack a full health Xerneas. I'm watching those people attack a full health Xerneas, and they're gonna die, and then Xerneas is gonna be at half health, and I'm gonna attack. And I think that's like very valid. Of like, I don't need to just rush in. And here's like, I don't want to come on the show and be like, everyone's bad at Pokemon. I'm great at Pokemon, because I don't think I'm that good. But like, I just start off the match. Here's your tip: I just start off the match, and I look at what I'm versing, and then I walk towards the thing I'm good against. So if I see that there's a Gyarados across from me, and I'm always starting with a Glaceon, and I see to my left is a Dragonite and to my right is a Metagross. Okay, well, the Metagross wins against me, but I win against the Dragonite. So I'm going to walk towards the Dragonite. And if the Dragonite doesn't switch, I win. Right? Like, I just win that. It's 4 times weak to ice. It ain't surviving anything. And if it does decide to switch, I, at that point, either switch to what is going to be super effective to what it switches into, or I just run away. That works too. I just leave. I just go somewhere else. That's it. It's like I don't have to do that fight.
Right.
And I think that's probably another takeaway is people feel like, oh, well, I'm already here, so I guess I'll hit a move. Like, no, just walk away. That's the great part about the real time battles. Just turn your butt around and walk away.
I think that sometimes, even like in the game, you sort of forget that you can just walk away, because like, you've never really been able to walk away from a trainer battle, right? In previous games. So I just forget sometimes in a game. I mean, I'm not ever trying to walk away, but there have been a few times where it's like, oh, I want to go do this thing right before it turns to dawn or something. So like you run away from the trainer, and then it says like, oh, you got away. But that's never been a thing before. So I think in that case, some people might just forget that. So they start battling and they're like, oh, I have to finish this battle. Not thinking about the fact that it's like, oh, I can just run away. Like, I don't need to finish the actual battle. But I was going to ask you, Steve, is there a specific reason you start with Glaceon all the time? Like, is that just your go-to? Because it's like, what's the reason for that?
Glaceon's good.
Yeah, Glaceon is good.
It was good.
Yeah, this might be the only game Glaceon's good with. Glaceon's really good. So the other thing that makes Glaceon pretty good, one, you do see a lot of dragons. Like, you do see a lot of Dragonites, you see a lot of Garchomps. Even with just like flying Pokemon like Yveltal, like you're still good against. But Glaceon also gets Calm Mind. So if the dragon, going back to the Dragonite example, like you will probably get a bunch of Dragonites that are just like, oh, it's just a Glaceon. What is it gonna do to me? Even though like you're 4 times, it's mind-boggling. Like, Dragonite's 30 years old. It's always been 4 times weak to ice. But I mean, maybe those people didn't play Red and Blue. Maybe they didn't realize the power of Ice Beam against Lance back in the day. But if that Dragonite starts to run away, you can use Calm Mind, because and that's like a really good thing online is. If you just stay far enough away, even if it's a Pokemon you don't plan on like attacking, like maybe Xerneas, you can just focus on it and use Calm Mind. And now when you already attack, you're just going to do more damage. So like when that Dragonite's running away, 1, you can Calm Mind it, but then 2, you can just like Ice Beam it from afar. So you have that long distance Ice Beam move.
True.
So Calm Mind, Ice Beam does do a lot. And even if, like, again, going back to Xerneas, if Xerneas has like 40% HP, Calm Mind, Ice Beam, snipe it, you get that knockout. And you're only like, what you're, at least with my build, like if it's a fighting Pokemon, I can switch into Chandelure. And if it's a steel Pokemon, I can also just switch into Chandelure. So like what you're switching into, is good too. Like what is ice weak to? If it's fire, I'm going to switch into Chandelure. So you're starting with a Pokemon that has like a good switch into. If you notice just like Scarlet and Violet or Sword and Shield competitive, you'll probably notice that a lot of teams have a fire, water, grass core, and that's purely for switching. It's purely for like Incineroar's the most used competitive Pokemon because Incineroar is just really good. It's like better than every legendary Pokemon. That's why I always think it's funny where people are like, legendaries are so overpowered, and it's like there's a lot of really bad legendary Pokemon that you will never see play. Just because a Pokemon's legendary doesn't mean it's by default good. Incineroar, not a legendary, one of the best Pokemon ever. But there's your fire core, and then you see a lot of people run like Rillaboom. There's your grass core, and then you'll almost always see like a water Pokemon as like a third.
I see.
And so like Glaceon switching into a Chandelure, that's like it's not a fire, water, grass core, but it is like I can handle everything Glaceon's weak to by switching into the Chandelure.
Right. No, that makes sense.
Although there was somebody in like B rank using an Alpha Spinarak.
That's awesome.
It was awesome.
That's so cool.
I think their other two Pokemon were really good, and I think the Spinarak just came out to be fun. I think they came in like second place, but it was great. It was really like, oh cool, Alpha Spinarak's just running around right now, crazy. Shout out to that guy. That was awesome. I didn't run into any cheater. Actually, I think I ran into one cheater, but I couldn't prove it. But I did hear there are people cheating.
It's always people cheating.
It's a Switch One.
Wait, what?
They're cheating because the Switch One is hackable.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, but the Switch 2 hasn't been like cracked.
Sure.
So
yet.
That's true. I mean, it's been out for like 6 months, and yeah, not yet. Oh, sorry. There was a reason I was talking about ranked, not to poo-poo people. They listened. I came on the show. I don't think it was because I came on the show and I said what I said. I came on the show and I was like, the rewards for ranked are garbage.
Oh yeah, right.
I made it to rank A, and then I won my A rank match, and the reward was like 10 mega crystals or whatever they're called, shards.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is terrible. The rewards now, fantastic. In the 2 hours it took me to get to rank Z to rank A, and there were a lot of bathroom breaks in that because I always have to pee. But the 2 hours it took me to do that and to go to the bathroom multiple times, I got like 7 heavy balls, 2 moon balls, a friend ball, 3 lure balls, over 100 nuggets, a bunch of rare like night and day difference. Like I didn't get any special Pokeballs going through season 1.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I just said you're all bad at Pokemon and you should learn the type chart. 1, you should learn the type chart. But 2, the rewards are worth playing.
Yeah.
They're so good.
I
Build
haven't played
Glaceon
online yet. So I need to play online now that I've hit credits, because I wanted to wait till the end, till I just got to the end of the game before I started doing online. And I saw that next season they are keeping it's still like rank Y for Greninja, right?
It's like Y for Greninja, V for Delphox, and like S for Chestnut.
Yeah. So you still have your chance if you missed seasons 1 and 2, you'll still have your chance for your Greninja and Delphoxite in season 3, which is nice. But I do want to jump online. Every time we talk about it, you'll get me more excited to actually play some online, because it does seem fun. It seems like a fun way to play.
Yeah.
So.
Like when I play Scarlet and Violet competitive, I feel like oh, here we go. And you have to like think a lot, especially even before the match starts, of like, okay, what are they bringing? What am I bringing? If they do bring this, how am I going to win? And then once the match starts, you're like, okay, this is not what I thought was like. I feel exhausted playing Scarlet and Violet competitive, or like Sword and Shield competitive, or like Sun and Moon competitive, because you really do have to think, and you have to. There's so many variables happening at once. In this, it does feel closer to like, I don't know, like a Mario Kart or like a Smash Brothers or I like almost like a party game.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of all the hardcore Smash players, and you're like, you don't have to think. It's just like Smash, you know?
Well, I mean, there are 3 maps, just like they do in Smash, you know? Items are on. All those Smash players turn the items off.
True.
Could you imagine ZA Battle Royale where it's like, okay, no one's allowed to use any Mega Stones. You're not allowed to use an Assault Vest. No Citrus Berry. No Focus Sash. Only Team Flair's theme. No other songs. Everyone is using Lucario. How dare you use Xerneas? Too unfair. That's what it would be like if we were comparing it to Smash.
True.
Then maybe we'll get it at Worlds.
Yeah, then it'll be at Worlds. No, I don't think this will be at Worlds. I also think Worlds is like too stacked. There's already like
a lot.
There's already too much at Worlds.
Well, and they said that the competitive part of Pokemon will be, the game. I can't think of the name. Why can't I think of the name of it? Champions.
Yeah. Okay, one more break. Did we talk about everything? Was that everything for the DLC?
I think so.
The donuts. We'll talk about the donuts after the break.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. We will be right back. Donuts. They where did I don't even remember where they showed the donuts. Was it directly in the trailer? I don't have the trailer.
Yeah, it was like
anymore.
the first trailer they showed, like Ansha making donuts.
Yeah, and then she showed what I'm talking about the Groudon.
I don't think those were ever in the trailer. I think they were on the website, maybe.
Yes, I think you're right. I think they were on the ZA website.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, that would be. I mean, Primal Kyogre and Primal Groudon are not Megas. They're Primals, but they work as Mega Evolution. It's really silly. And then Mega Rayquaza doesn't need a Mega Stone because it uses Dragon Ascent, which Dragon Ascent was one of the cut moves of the 405 moves they cut in ZA. But there's no way Rayquaza isn't coming back. Like, what, they're going to do every single Mega Pokemon but Rayquaza?
Is there an option to add moves in the DLC? Would they do that?
Yeah, I mean, every DLC has added new moves.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
If we're saying, like, Isle of Armor or Teal Mask or anything, they've all added moves. So Mewtwo will probably be like Diancie, where it'll be some story mission. You probably won't need the DLC. Mewtwo for everyone. Again, that seems like a very big Pokemon Day thing of like people love Mewtwo. Yeah. That's how you'll get Mewtwo X and Y. These donuts are probably how you get Kyogre Groudon. And then somehow, well, I guess you don't need a Mega Stone to get Rayquaza. You just need Rayquaza to exist. And that should be like, it would be so weird if a game focused on Megas. We're just missing Megas because it's not like there's that many Megas to begin with.
Yeah, it would feel wrong.
I still think it's weird that to celebrate the release of Pokemon Legends Z-A, Pokemon Go had Mega Rayquaza raids.
Yeah. They're like, oh, we're not bringing this one to the game. Some side news here is Pokemon Legends Z-A Mega Dimension Donut and Drinks announced for the Pikachu Sweets store. This menu will go on sale in December 10th. It will include an orange-flavored ruby chocolate frappe based on Hoopa, as well as 2 special donuts to appear in the DLC. The donuts are based on Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre. Purchasing the donuts and with the frappe or latte will also include a sticker. This is a big bummer because not only did they announce all this news while I was in Japan, they are now introducing these donuts after I left Japan. So I do not get my Kyogre or Groudon donut. The Pikachu Sweet Cafe is the cafe that is in Ikebukuro. It's across the hallway from the Mega Tokyo Pokemon Center. So, I mean, like, if you're going to Japan and you're a Pokemon fan and you want to go to all the Pokemon centers, Mega Tokyo is the biggest Pokemon Center. It's also, like, the most crowded one, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But the cafe is across, and you don't need a reservation for that. The only thing at the cafe is they have a handful of drinks, and they have like Pikachu waffles, and they have some plushes, and that's kind of it. You do not need a reservation. That's not to be confused with the actual Pokemon Cafe, which in Tokyo is at the Tokyo DX, and there's also one in Osaka. Those you need the reservations for. And they didn't say that the donuts are coming to those. They're specifically saying it's coming to the Pikachu Sweet Store, which is only near the Mega Tokyo one.
Yeah.
Also, they're just donuts, so it's not that big of a deal. But if you're, for some reason, in Japan and you want to Groudon or Kyogre donut.
I mean, I'll admit I'm pretty hungry right now, but these donuts look delicious.
They look awesome.
They look very good.
They look very good. So...
our bonus segment will be talking about the Japan stuff, the Pokemon Home medals, the Pokemon Go medals. So that's our bonus segment for Patreon listeners or Apple Podcasts. So it is a good time to sign up for Patreon, patreon.com/PKMNcast. Also, anyone who signs up in the month of November will get the holiday postcard that'll send out next month. So there's your little Patreon ad shill. But also, like, when do you get the Primal Groudon on Kyogre? Is that like post DLC content? Like, I can't imagine.
It sort of seems like it.
You think so?
I can't imagine you're gonna get that donut right off the bat and then just go through the DLC with Primal Groudon.
No, but you're already able to go through the DLC with Mega Diancie. Or like, I don't know. I feel like there are powerful Pokemon in the base game that
you're
can
right.
also go through the DLC with. So I guess into their legendary, they probably wouldn't have them show up until the end. But I don't know. That always bugs me about legendary Pokemon is that, and I get it. It's like end game stuff, but sometimes you kind of wish you could just use your legendary Pokemon in a playthrough. Because if you don't play, like play competitive
I've
or
never
anything,
felt like I wanted to do that.
really, like it would be fun to play through the game with certain Pokemon. Sometimes that it's just like, well, the game's over by the time I get this Pokemon, so it's just like gonna go into a box because I'm not gonna use it in the game.
I mean, they give you a Jirachi and a Mew in BDSP, and I never felt compelled to use them. Although I'm sure there's lots of people that were like, "Oh, I get to use a Mew through my playthrough."
I used a Mew through my not BDSP. What was the other one? Wasn't there another game? Oh, well, like in Let's Go Pikachu,
Right?
Let's Go Eevee. I used Mew because I was just happy to be able to use a Mew. Like,
no, I think that's cool. I'm not like shaming. I'm shaming you for not knowing the type chart, but using Mew through a playthrough.
hey, the dual types are hard sometimes. All right,
I mean, you're right.
Yeah, I was gonna use a Drampa in my ZA playthrough, but then I learned it was so late. I was like, okay, never mind.
Yeah. I did see a Drampa online, and I went to go Shadow Ball a Pokemon. And they switched into Drampa, and I was like, "You got me. I can't. You're normal. I can't Shadow Ball you."
That person knows the type chart.
I was like, you know the type chart. You showed me Drampa player. I don't think we have time to talk about Pokepark. Speaking of a park that is Pokemon related, that is not real life, and that does not restrict you to having 110 steps before they let you in, is Pokopia, where they said players can The player can learn moves, this is off the press release, from the Pokemon they meet, helping to create habitats where different Pokemon will appear. The moves they can learn can be used for other purposes, like smashing walls with Rock Smash, adding more greenery with Leafage. I still want to point out that Bulbasaur cannot learn Leafage. That's very confusing in the trailer. Going from mountain to mountain in a single leap with Glide, traveling across the water. Glide is not a move, by the way. There's never been a move called Glide. I don't know what they're talking about. Or traveling across the water with Surf. Players can also interact with the Pokemon they meet, including playing jump rope with Bulbasaur's vines, having Charmander light fires, or teaming up with lots of Pokemon to build houses to live in. Pokemon may come to the player with requests for making the environment more comfortable place to live. Some will even have important requests tied to solving larger problems. They did not list the larger problems. Fulfilling these requests will lead to the development of an entirely new area. Players can look forward to switching up their hairstyles or outfits and crafting items or furnitures to personalize surrounding. Up to 4 players can enjoy playing together. In addition to Professor Tangrowth, players can encounter other mysterious Pokemon. Pikachu, a pale Pikachu with drooping ears whose fur is a mysterious color. Mosslax, a moss has grown all over the Snorlax's body. And it looks as flowers is blooming atop its head. It must have been asleep for a really long time. And Smearguru, a Smeargle with vibrant colors splattered across its body. It almost looks like a painter when it uses its tail as a brush. Obviously, that was just a description of a 10-minute video, but...
Okay.
Austin, you said you were excited about this.
Yeah, I don't think it really showed much more than we already kind of knew. I like there's little side quests. I like that you can help Pokemon out. I'm kind of intrigued on these new, I don't want to call them new Pokemon, but these Pokemon characters we've gotten introduced to. That's intriguing to me.
I think they are new, though.
I mean, well, kind of. They're not like, it's not a new Pokemon.
I think they are.
You think it's a full? I was kind of looking at it as like Toad to Captain Toad. It's still a Toad, but he's got like a thing going on.
You know, that's not where I would have gone with the.
That's how I've like talked about it and stuff. Where it's like, yeah, this is like not, or Goombella, I guess, is another example, from Paper Mario. But maybe. I don't ever see them coming to other games, though.
I do. I actually
really
do. I think Mosslax will be like a Pokemon you can fight in Pokemon Champions. 100%.
If you're right, I would be so excited. I love Mosslax.
Maybe I'm wrong.
You might be right.
I don't mind being wrong, but they feel like new Pokemon.
Okay. I would be stoked. I feel like Smearguru is a little... Well, they're not going to call it Professor Tangrowth, though, you know?
They could. They have
They
a Pokemon
called
called Mr. Mime.
Iron
Mr. Rhyme.
Treads.
Iron Treads, yeah.
They called something Screamtail.
All right, you got me.
And I sat on this podcast and I was like, there's no way this thing is going to be called Iron Treads forever. No, it was.
All right, I guess you have a point. You do have a very valid point there. You are right.
It just...
Hey, I love Mosslax, so if I could catch one and use it in Gen 10 or whatever, count me in.
I don't know. I don't know if... The only thing that gets me is like Pikachu. I don't know. Something about that. I just feel like they wouldn't make that like another Pokemon that is playable in like all games. Just because of the way that they feel about Pikachu in general.
They made Mimikyu,
Mimikyu, yeah.
which
Yeah,
ended
but
up being one of the most popular Pokemon from Gen 7.
For sure, but that's like the whole Mimikyu has a whole story behind the fact that it is Mimikyu, and it's very far off from like Pikachu. It just has a costume, right? Like,
I mean, we got Mega Raichu, which I didn't think was going to be a thing.
Yeah.
I totally see your point, Bobby, if this was like 10 years ago. I think that they were really scared with Pikachu to do anything weird or funny with it because like Pikachu is so iconic and so brand focused. But with like Pokemon Go and them learning that, oh, we can just keep putting hats on Pikachu and people are going to love it and it's not going to mess with the brand image or anything like that. And then like Mimikyu coming out, and I think they're very okay with pushing the boundaries on Pikachu now. 10 years ago, I think I would be more in your camp of like, yeah, they don't want to like mess with Pikachu too much, but I think they're very much okay with taking advantage of spinning that off in various ways.
Yeah, maybe.
This is maybe not the best comparison because for one, it's not Pikachu, but I feel like what was it, the spiky-eared Pichu? You know,
yeah.
it's like it's not Pichu, but it is. It is
Right.
Pichu at the end of the day. Granted, it's not Pikachu, so you know they did a Alolan Raichu. So, but yeah, I could see that being a thing where the design's different enough to where it's not just Pikachu, right?
Right.
Different color, different tail size, everything. So,
Yeah, that's true. I will say one thing about this that I do think is kind of I don't know how, I have mixed feelings about it, I think. So they mentioned that in the game, humans no longer live here.
Finally.
And it is kind of, I don't like how they are like, humans no longer live here, so Pokemon are in shambles. Like, Pokemon can't, like, nature isn't healing with humans gone, where I feel like that's the opposite of what would actually happen if humans left Earth.
Yeah.
Is Earth would heal and, like, Pokemon, animals would be fine, would be more fine than ever.
Well, what
And
we
then-
need is a bunch of Mega Starmie to come over.
Ah,
There it
perfect. It all comes full circle. This has been a
There
good
it
episode of the
is.
podcast. I think I look at like something like Mosslax, which is I'm reading off Sarumi. Sarumi is saying Mosslax is a variant of the Pokemon Snorlax, which has moss growing all over its body and a flower on its head, and it's been asleep for a long time. And there was like something. I think it's weird, and I think that's why I fall into two camps. I think like Professor Tangrowth just like existing as like a professor, I think is like, oh, okay, this is the professor that walks you through the game. But I feel like post credits of them showing Pikachu and Mosslax and Smearguru, it felt way different than Professor Tangrowth.
Sure.
It felt
Yeah.
like they were introducing new Pokemon.
Mhm.
And I feel like I got the same vibes I got from Mosslax as I did Blood Moon Ursaluna. Like, why is there, like, we got Ursaluna in Legends Arceus, so a brand new Pokemon, right?
Mhm.
And Ursaluna, people liked it a lot, and there was really only one way to get Ursaluna right. It was you had to buy Legends Arceus, and you had to play through it, and then you had to transfer it over. And then eventually it came to Pokemon Go, so that was like another way to get Ursaluna. But like Mosslax seems like Blood Moon. Like, Blood Moon is just this random one single Pokemon that you get at the end
Yeah.
of the DLC, and you do the encounter with it, and I think it's really great, and I think, like, fighting Blood Moon in, like, the raid-style, like, instance that you fought it, and then you get the guaranteed catch, I think very fantastic. I think awesome. But also, this is the same, like, company that was like, hey, you should buy this game called Pokemon Ranger, and then we'll give you a Manaphy egg. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think with like, we know Game Freak spent their own time working on this game before they passed it off to the Dragon Quest team, Dragon Quest Builders team. Sorry. And so I don't see why Game Freak wouldn't. I don't know. There was just something about like the end of it of being like, here are 3 new Pokemon. They're variants. They're new Pokemon for them not to. Like I don't know. I don't see why they wouldn't get Pokedex numbers before Gen 10 and exist and go into Champions or go into future games or just like be another thing to collect. Like Mosslax would go super hard if it came to raids in Pokemon Go. Would it not? Like people
it would.
love
for sure.
Snorlax.
Yeah.
People love Snorlax.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I just think it's kind of weird that they just feel like new Pokemon that will exist outside this game.
Yeah, and they do. So I really do like to pick out the wording that Pokemon uses within like their press releases, because I think they are very careful about what they say. And they do say, in addition to Professor Tangrowth, players will encounter other mysterious Pokemon. And they don't say like other mysterious Pokemon forms or things like that. They make it do seem like, hey, here are some other Pokemon you're going to encounter, and then they're named different things, right? Like they literally have different names. Then
Right.
it's not like Snorlax with moss on it or like Smeargle with extra paint. Like they actually have specific names, which they don't typically do for like another form of a Pokemon or even like a character that wouldn't exist.
It's not quite the same, but I guess like Toad School, right? It's not. I guess it's not. Maybe they're not the same, but
I see where you're going. I see where you're going with that. Yeah. But yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be cool if these did end up going to other games. A lot of people talked about Pikachu. A lot of people talked about Moslax over the last few weeks. I saw a lot less people talk about Smearguru. I know it's like a much more simple because it's just like Smeargle with more paint on it. But I actually really like Smearguru. I think it looks
I think he's
really cool. So yeah, that'd be exciting.
Yeah, I would be so down for it if that ends up what happened. If that ends up being what happens, it wasn't what I expected, but yeah, I love them all. So,
was there anything, Austin, in the trailer that like, as the comfy, cozy part of you wanted or saw or like liked or didn't even like?
The one thing that did surprise me, I think the world might be larger than I expected. Especially when they showed us
the Switch 2.
When they showed us flying off on the we turned into Ditto Dragonite, and I was like, oh, we're actually going to be able to fly to other places. We can surf with like the Lapras. I'm like, oh, that's actually really cool. I guess like knowing that it is coming from the Dragon Quest Builders team, obviously it's going to be larger world than just like a little area. But I guess I don't know. Maybe I was setting my hopes a little low, and that was interesting. I was excited to see that we can go farther.
Do you think
what I expected?
We'll actually be able to, and I don't remember if they showed this in the trailer, are we actually able to like explore? So like if we turn into the Ditto Lapras and you go surf, are you surfing the whole way to that island, or is it like you go off screen and then it just like it picks up like when you arrive at the other island?
I assumed we would surf the whole way. We would control it.
Or glide the whole way like with Dragonite. It's interesting because the fact that they give you those two options, so it does feel like, okay, there's a lot more ground to cover because you could just do one. If there was just like other islands to visit, you don't need both surf and glide. Right. But it's almost like it gives like, okay, there's a lot more to cover if you can do either of those. They probably can go different places, right? So yeah, that's cool.
And another thing that I was excited for, I guess it makes sense that this was the case, but it was nice to see it confirmed, is that alongside the like pre-built houses you can craft or make whatever, you're able to actually like place the blocks yourself and make like a larger, different structures, which I thought was cool too.
You're trying to build the skyscrapers? You're gonna really turn it into a city?
You might.
I think we have to talk about the price.
Sure.
People, I guess I don't know what I expected. I guess I expected it just to be like a $70 game.
So I expected it to be a $70 game.
And some people thought it was going to be free to play, and then some people thought it was just going to be a $40 game.
I don't know. Like Switch 2 exclusivity of this game, like I immediately just assumed $70.
Right.
Also, just like every Switch 2 game will be at least $70. The only $80 Switch 2 game that exists is
Mario
Kart.
Yeah. Which is wild
and
to some extent.
There's also tons of people that didn't know that Z-A was a Switch 1 game for $60. That was part of the whole like $70 for this game. It's like also $60 on the Switch.
Yeah,
that exists. It's I don't know. It seems like a game that is as big, if not bigger, than Animal Crossing. And Animal Crossing was $60 on the Switch, and this is $70 on the Switch too.
That's where I was coming from with
also, Dragon Quest Builders was
Yeah.
60 when it came out on the Switch, and
What's
then it's down to like 40 or whatever. Like it's pretty easy to find that game a lot cheaper now, but that game's old.
So what's the complaint then? Like, because if
People
you're
just thought
just
it was gonna be
complaining
less.
like that games are expensive, I get that. Like, I understand games are expensive. They are. $70 is $70. That's a lot of money. But yeah, I just don't understand. Like, it looks like a full game. It just doesn't seem like something
Yeah.
that they would, if that would be like free to play or even less than the full price of a game. And maybe I'm just
like
out of touch,
new Pokemon
but
Snap was $60. If
Yeah.
they came out with a Switch 2 version of it, it would probably be $70.
Pokemon Friends was $30.
Okay, let's
sure.
I don't think that works towards our argument here.
I mean, I spent like $100 on Pokemon Quest over the years, just getting it on.
Yeah,
different
right.
various
Exactly. Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't see, aside from the gaming is getting more expensive conversation, which is a valid conversation to have.
Sure.
I feel fairly confident I would be getting my money's worth out of this game. $70,
I agree.
sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, we're never, or no one is ever going to be able to probably convince somebody what a game is worth, right? Like, I got Blueprints for free because I was a PlayStation Plus member. And I think Blueprints' price was $30. And after playing Blueprints, if you told me Blueprints was a $100 game, I would have happily paid $100 for it. Because I think, to me, it's worth
Yeah.
that price of admission. But for some people, they'd be like, oh, a puzzle game that's a roguelike that you have to do, like, I wouldn't even play that for free. And I get it. Like, it's not for everyone. So, like, I wonder if the people that are complaining this is maybe you just don't like this kind of game, and that's like,
fine.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sure for a lot of people, on rail picture game, aka Pokemon Snap, maybe not worth $60.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's not, you could give me Hey You Pikachu for free, even as a child. I think I was 11 years old when that game came out. I knew that game was bad. Like, I don't even remember how much Hey You Pikachu was when it came out. I don't remember. I think it was 40 because it was Nintendo 64, and I think Nintendo 64 games were around 35 to 40. But I think that one was 40 or 45 because it came with a microphone. But even as a kid, I was like, oh, I wouldn't even play this for free. This is even worth the $5.99 at Blockbuster or rent. This game's terrible. It's still bad to this day. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I was surprised that people were surprised that this was a $70 game.
I think the argument, or not argument, but what I saw that seemed like people were a little bit more mad about was that there is no like physical, like you can buy the physical game,
Sure.
but it's a key. It's like a game key
yes.
or key card,
Yeah.
and so there isn't just a physical aspect to it.
Which is also another valid argument to have. Although I am a little confused. Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't PlayStation games do that too? Where it's just like you buy the disc, but you still have to download so much stuff for it? Is that not common?
Yes, that is common.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But
yeah,
you,
the problem with the we don't. I don't want to run over on the podcast.
right.
The problem with the key card thing. This is Nintendo's problem that they created because printing on a cartridge is more expensive than printing on a disc, especially since those cartridges are custom to the Switch 2. Whereas like a CD or a Blu-ray or a DVD, whatever you want to call it, a disc form shape media.
Sure,
PlayStation,
right.
like those are incredibly cheap. They don't cost like anything because they've existed for so long. So it costs nothing to train that. Now they do have like a data limit to them, right?
Yeah.
Like you might, Blueprints would fit on a Blu-ray, but Grand Theft Auto 6 probably wouldn't fit on it.
Sure.
So you would have
we'll
to
never
download
know.
more.
We'll never know.
You never know.
It's never coming out, right?
Where these cartridges are expensive. So Nintendo only made 2 cartridges. They made I think they made it's like is it like a 4. I could be I could be slightly off, so I apologize. But ultimately, there's 2 cartridges. I think one is like 8 gigs, and then the other is 60 gigs. So if your game is 10 gigs, your option is to either do the digital key card because your game of 10 cannot fit on the 8.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have to upgrade and buy just a bunch of 60 gig cards, and now you're just taking a huge loss.
Yeah.
For that. So when you are a smaller developer, you might just go the key card, because I think Bravely Default, which maybe a bad argument because Square Enix is not really a small company, but like they would eat a huge cost by upgrading to the 60 gig. So it's just easier. They would save money doing the key card thing.
Yeah.
So Nintendo could fix this by introducing a middle version, like a 20 gig key cartridge, but it doesn't seem like they're doing that. And I know some people were upset that like this is a Nintendo game, and Nintendo said they were never going to do key cards. They just left it up to third parties, but it's not really a Nintendo game. It's a Koei Tecmo game technically, but that's getting into like the weeds of like Nintendo owning part of the Pokemon company and blah blah blah.
Right.
But yeah, it's not a Nintendo first party game.
Yeah.
Is ultimately what it is. So I get why people are mad. I would have gotten the game digitally regardless. But I totally get it.
Yeah.
But I'm not coming on here to defend key cards. I'm just telling you that there's only 2 sizes of cartridges, and cartridges are more expensive to produce, and that's why like companies would opt. That's why logistically they would opt for a key card to save money, because making a video game is very expensive.
Yep.
Speaking of expensive, I think that this might be the best-selling spin-off game they have ever. And
I can see that.
If you look at something like New Pokemon Snap sold 2.4 million copies, which is a lot in some aspects, but also not a lot in the aspects of like the Pokemon brand, right? Like,
sure.
Like, Pokemon Yellow sold 14 million copies. Legends Arceus sold 14.8 million copies. Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl sold 15 million copies. So when you have a game like Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl selling 15 million and New Pokemon Snap selling only 2.4, that's pretty drastic. Hey You Pikachu has sold 1.8 million copies. The Pokemon Coliseum 2.4 million copies, which is not a lot. Pokemon I lost it. I was gonna say Gale of Darkness, the sequel to Coliseum, 1.4 million copies. It sold 1 million less. And both of those games are bad. I can't wait for those games to come out in NSO so people can experience that they're bad. The best-selling spin-off game is Pokemon Stadium for the Nintendo 64. It sold 5.4 million copies. Pokemon Pinball sold 5.3 million copies. And then Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time and Explorers of Darkness sold 4.8 million copies, and the original Pokemon Snap sold 3.6 million copies. So the sequel to Pokemon Snap didn't even outsell the original, which is kind of a bummer, especially with the success of the Switch.
Yeah, I don't know. It could have been timing of the games and everything. I mean, that was an interesting. That was like 25th anniversary, wasn't it, when that came out too?
Yeah. Dragon Quest Builders. So again, this was started by Game Freak and then moved over to Koei Tecmo. So Koei Tecmo is finishing it and also probably going to be the ongoing support. Dragon Quest Builders 2 sold 1.1 million copies, which, again, 1 million copies of a video game is a lot. But Pokemon's pretty good at selling more than that.
Do you know what the newest Animal Crossing sold?
I knew you were going to ask. 48 million copies.
I mean, obviously, there are multiple factors there. One being Animal Crossing, two being the timing of when they released Animal Crossing. But yeah.
Stardew Valley has sold 41 million copies.
Wow, I didn't realize that it had sold. That Stardew Valley was that. I knew it was popular. I didn't know it was.
Oh, I think I bought.
Popular.
I think most Stardew Valley people have bought in that game at least twice. I definitely did. I bought it on Switch and I bought it on PC.
Yeah. Can't fault you.
The Nintendo Switch version of Stardew Valley sold 7.9 million copies.
Okay.
So that's why I think that this might actually be the best-selling Pokemon spin-off game of all time. Because if you look at how popular Stardew Valley is and how popular Animal Crossing is, and then you add Pokemon to it, and even bad Pokemon games sell like 2 million copies. And if your threshold is 5 million, and then you're gonna on top of that introduce brand new Pokemon like Mosslax, and assuming that is a brand new Pokemon that can go, I don't know. I think this game is going to be big.
I think I could see it doing between 5 and 10. Between 5 and 10 million.
I think it passes 5 million.
Yeah.
I think
sincerely
just
think
like
it
the
does.
overlap from the cozy gaming community, and the Pokemon community combined, I think it would do pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is what Pokemon fans wanted. Every time there's an Animal Crossing, I always hear, like, myself included, I'm like, man, this would be cool if, like, it was, like, Pokemonified.
Yeah.
Same. Yep. Well. We didn't mention we didn't mention the release date of the game, which is March 5th,
Yes.
2026. So we do have a set date for that game, which is great. Well, it's like 1 week after Pokemon Day. Maybe 1 or 2 weeks after Pokemon Day.
Yeah, so we'll probably get, like, a game plan and, like, a schedule of, like... I hope they don't do the Animal Crossing thing. And I think... I have a lot of problems with New Horizon as like, and I'm a big Animal Crossing fan. I have a lot of problems with New Horizon. I think one of the problems was like they took a bunch of things that were always a part of Animal Crossing and then like drip fed it. Like Red was not available right away. I don't think the fortune teller was available right away. I don't even know if she's in the game now. There was just like a lot of things that were like missing. And then they drip fed them, but by the time everything came to it, I was like, "Oh, it's too late. I've already moved on." So it would be interesting to see what their roadmap for this is.
I don't even know what they would drip feed. I mean, like they could just drip feed certain Pokemon, I guess, but like they showed it pretty fleshed out, like in the trailer.
It did look very fleshed out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like drip feeding new Pokemon or new stuff for. I still have the same worries. I just like, is it too like, I want it to be closer to Animal Crossing and Stardew than I want it to be closer to Minecraft.
Sure. Yeah.
I've been told, I downloaded the demo, I haven't tried it, but I've been told that Dragon Quest Builders is closer to Minecraft than it is to Stardew Valley. But also, hey, Minecraft's a pretty big game too.
Yeah, right. It is funny though, because that is, I feel like when the trailer first came out, you were either in the camp of, oh, this looks like Minecraft or this looks like Animal Crossing. Like those were the
Minecraft has
arguments.
sold 350 million copies.
That is wild. That is wild.
Also, I always thought Minecraft was a free-to-play game, but it's not. It's
like 30.
Yeah,
well, it might be different now, but
it's owned by Microsoft, right? Now,
yeah,
didn't they buy the company?
Yeah, Microsoft bought it from what I don't remember what the original Mojang.
Oh, they just bought the game. They didn't buy the company, right? Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, it was developed by Marcus Pearson.
Well, good for Marcus Pearson.
I'm sure they are sitting on one. It was the first video game to sell over 300 million copies.
Wow.
The best-selling single-platform video game is Wii Sports, which sold 83 million copies.
Wii Sports is still going. If you go buy Wii Sports secondhand, it's still like expensive.
Just because I'm here, we'll end the show this way. Here's your top 5 all-time selling games. Minecraft number 1, 350 million copies. Grand Theft Auto 5, 220 million copies. Wii Sports, 82.9 million copies. Red Dead Redemption 2, I had no clue, 79 million copies. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, 78 million copies.
It's wild how much of a difference there is between GTA 5 and then, was it Wii Sports? Like,
yeah,
that's
82 to 220.
Yeah, that's so huge. I mean, to be fair, GTA 5 has been around for like my entire life, it feels like, but
it came out in 2013, so it is 13 years old.
I've bought that game on 3 different platforms, I think.
You're adding to the 220 million.
I'm a part of the 220 million, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we can we have a couple months before Pokopia comes out. I'm sure we'll get more. And because we had so much to cover this episode, we're going to cut it short here. If you would like to stick around for the bonus stuff, please do. It is patreon.com/PKMNcast. You can sign up for a free 7-day trial over on Patreon. Otherwise, it's $5 a month. And then, like I said, if you sign up this month, you get the holiday postcard for next month. Also, if you just listen on Apple Podcasts, you can do the Apple Podcast subscription. I believe they offer a 2-week free trial if you're interested in that. But thank you for making it to the end. I know there's so much Pokemon news we didn't talk about, but we will get to it next week. But if you're not in the premium feed, thank you for making it this far. If you are in the premium feed, stick around for credits. Otherwise, thank you, Austin. Thank you, Bobby. This has been another episode of the Pokemon Podcast, and we are
super effective.
Super Donuts.
It's definitely an ending. Probably the boat runs like once a day, so once I get on this island, what am I going to do? This is the last thing, because I know Bobby has to go. I took a 2-hour bus ride to go to a Pokélid on the top of the mountain, which is Torkoal. It was either a 3-hour train ride